right. Anyway, let me jump over to Dan Bongino. Let's see what I have in my bookmarks here. You guys want to see some wild stuff? My bookmarks. Let me tell you something. I can't even. What is it?
Is passionate about it for a reason. How many freaking times are we going to let the FBI interfere in an election? I mean, this is supposed to be a constitutional republic. I'm not crazy, right? Like, this is supposed to be a representative democracy. Banana republic. We're beyond a banana republic. We're into like tin pot dictator third world stuff. This is embarrassing. At least Pravda didn't pretend to be anything but state apparatchiks. The FBI, and listen, I've been with you for a while. I work with a lot of decent guys. But I'm done with the rank and file stuff too. I'm done with it. If you took part in this, anyone who took part in this, anyone, I don't care who you are, an analyst or an upper level manager, the next president who comes in office, they should schedule F as many people as they can in the federal government and fire every single person involved in this. Everyone. The receptionist in the FBI office who took a call on this should be fired. We are not a third world republic, supposedly. Sean, the difference between us and Kim Jong-un, right, is that we investigate crimes and then we look for people. We don't investigate people and then look for crimes. That is exactly what's going on. How many times are they going to investigate Donald Trump for how many different things before the American people wake up and realize this isn't an investigation of a crime in search of a person, but a person in search of a crime? And let me just add, one last thing on this, folks. I left my job. So no one's going to lecture me, oh, Dan, what would you do if you just do? There's no more we're just doing our job. You swore an oath to the Constitution. Have some balls, man. I left my job.
This is crazy. He's the number 2 guy. Oh, no. His first act, he's just going to fire the receptionist, no matter who it is. Were you there when Trump got raided? I was actually sick that you're fired. You took an oath to the Constitution. Get out. It's too much fire. This is too fiery. Given how Kash Patel is, and now this guy's his number 2, this is wild. Wild what's about to happen. This guy's down to get rid of FBI personnel who did the wrong thing. Kash Patel wants to do the exact same thing. This is going to be nuts. This is going to be nuts. What day is it today? It's Monday. I think he just accepted the position. Oh, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. You might as well just do a search on him. I mean, I had a video that I wanted to show you guys of this guy. Bongino. Not Bingino. Bongino. Man, I'm telling you, this guy is just... he's too much. I can't believe it. He swears a lot. I'm like looking for things that like aren't swears. This guy.
Oh, how do you start today's show?
Here it is, yeah.
No, I howl. Jasmine's sitting there kind of laughing. Like, what do you say? Hey, guys, Monday morning. Well, let me give you a weekend update. Quite the weekend update. Kind of probably the most interesting weekend update ever. And the interesting thing about this weekend update is producer Jim, at least on the radio show, is not going to have to run the let's take a brief interlude into Dan's personal life, because my personal life is no longer personal. Folks, I'm sure by now you've heard the news. Wait, do I have it? Oh, no, I already took it. Sorry. Someone gave me the man card, gave me like an actual man card one day. Like it's a little, looks like a credit card, kind of a joke, obviously. So let me just turn that in right now because this may be a little bit emotional, and let me apologize in advance. I was home last night, and I'm sitting there. I was watching a show. I don't even know what I was watching. Food That Built America or something like that. And I was falling asleep because it had been a really long day. Now you know why. And some of you kind of understand why the show had a different tone over the last couple of weeks. And I got a call from the president, and it couldn't have been nicer. And I obviously keep the contents of it between us, but I think you get the gist about what it was about. And kind of broke down a bit because it was, this is now real. So President, Attorney General Bondi, and now director, gosh, that sounds good to say, FBI director Kash Patel offered this role, a role I expressed an interest in. And ladies and gentlemen, I told you, you see, it's hard for me. I'm going to accept the role proudly as the deputy director, the number 2 spot at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Folks, it's a lot to walk away from. I will tell you everything what happened within reason, and then I got a show to do, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with the show. So it's going to be a pretty wild ride today. Man, do we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to play for you in the beginning, too, a speech I gave that someone sent to me from 11 years ago. And you'll see why I decided to make this decision. So a lot to do today. Thank you so much for kind of a big audience here right away out of the shoot. So thank you very much. I love you guys. And Bongino Army out there, I hope you understand. I got a couple of negative comments, Dan, you should have let us know. I hope you understand about this. This is not you do not ever get ahead of the President of the United States, the Attorney General, and the Director of the FBI. You don't do that. Not when you take positions like that. It's not the right thing to do. So now you understand.
Wow. Yeah, someone said couldn't think of a better guy. Yeah, man. Oof. This is crazy. It's just too much. But I think he's getting emotional because he's leaving the show, right? I mean, it's a great position, and a lot of people wanted to see him as head of the Secret Service, especially everything that was happening to Trump and, the just straight up incompetence that was around in the Secret Service that allowed these things to happen to him, potentially happen to him. And they wanted to see this guy as the head protecting Trump, and now he's number 2 to Kash Patel. This is just wild. So now you have Pam Bondi, who Kash Patel said has been like a mentor to him. So they've kind of come up together as prosecutors. And then you got Dan next to Kash. Wow. I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's going to be some firings. Definitely. I think there's going to be some firings for sure. I think there's going to be some massive, standard heightening. It was Kash already said it. He said there's going to be a certain standard. You're going to go by this standard. But now you have his number 2 is the enforcer of those things that Kash Patel said in his recent speech when he was being sworn in. Now you're going to have this guy enforcing these standards on these FBI agents. Wow. And if he's allowed to fire anybody, we're going to see 1,000 people get fired from the FBI. We're gonna see 1,000 people get fired right off the bat. Oh man, he's working with Jamie Raskin. Who's working with Jamie Raskin? Dan is. Here's the thing about Dan. Also, from what I can tell, I don't know the guy, never met the guy, but it seems like he is very much, the Constitution is the thing to follow, and that's why Kash Patel's very much like that as well. Pam Bondi's very much like, so they all get along there, but he's very he obeys rank. And if Kash tells him to do something, he's gonna do it. Right? He even said it, he's like, oh, you don't get ahead of the President of the United States. Like, he's very oriented towards order. So you're gonna see him do some things that you don't like as a person, but he has to do it because that's what you have to do in this position, and you got to work with this person, that person, that person. So he's gonna obey what the position entails, but he's gonna be fierce about it. Because the thing is, the people who are in these positions that Kash and him are in now, they weren't obeying it that way. They were undermining the president. This guy's never gonna undermine the president. Never, because you're not supposed to in those positions. You're supposed to be doing what the president says that you should be doing, what the Constitution says, doing what the president says. And if the president goes against the Constitution, you're supposed to bring that up, but you can't overrule him. And a lot of people, Trump's first term, thought that they could just overrule him. it was the cool thing to do, and the media was going to have your back, and blah blah blah. But all that's done. I can't wait to see what these guys do. Never in my life, if you went to me when I was younger, said you're going to be excited about the FBI director when you're older, I'd be like, get out of here. I'm trying to get high. That's what I would say to you for sure. But here we are, man. Here we are. I have some white male tears of joy. Joy Reid being canned. White male tears. Oh, those are her favorite. Those are her favorite. Keep those away from her. She'll scarf those down. Let's move on here. What else do we have? Yeah, man, just great. Congratulations to this guy. And if Matt Gaetz is special prosecutor, like, this is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Because I know a bunch of stuff has come up about Matt Gaetz, you know, all of that stuff that came up. But Pam, Kash, Dan, and Matt, they're all really, and this should be every politician, but it's not, they're really partial to the Constitution. They're really into following the Constitution. And again, that should be just a prerequisite for every politician, but I would be shocked if they all even knew what the Constitution even said.